I was so sick of my job as an accountant. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to make this chicken thing work one way or another. But I got to get out of this cubicle. This is horrible. So I just left. I moved in. My wife, and my 1-year-old son moved in with the in-laws. For a period of time, there was 9 of us living in a 1,700 square foot house. Every single 8 out of 9. My name's Paul Grieve. I'm one of the co-founders of Primal Pastures and the CEO at Pasturebird.
How did this compare to your very first brooder? I mean, you didn't know anything about raising chickens, did you?
We didn't know a thing. We read some Joel Salatin and we ended up putting a little hover brooder inside of a garage, and we started with like 50 chicks, so it wasn't anything special at all.
Okay.
It was absolute chaos, like mayhem. We had HBO, Showtime, Animal Planet, National Geographic. They all wanted to come film a documentary because it was like this madhouse of chaos at all times. But you know, that's what we had to do. Like, we had to just cut back all expenses, rack up credit cards, like the whole, it's an entrepreneur story. I mean, this is the same thing that happens in a lot of industries. So for us, and for me especially, my soul. All right, so in April 2012, I was finishing my time as an officer in the Marine Corps and had some health problems. I had arthritis, everything from my ankles, my knees, my back, couldn't breathe through my nose, low energy. And at 22 years old, I couldn't really figure out what my problem was. I didn't know what was going on. So my whole family went on this real food adventure, and we started learning about how food actually affects the way that you feel and your health and your vitality and everything. So we started eating a paleo diet. And we started feeling so much better. Like 2 weeks in, felt like a kid again. I could breathe through my nose. I had all this extra energy. I could move. Everything was totally different. And my family had same experience. So my father-in-law lost 100 pounds. My brothers both lost a bunch of weight and felt way better. So
is the hover brooder something that you bought?
No,
or something that you slapped together?
We slapped it together.
So you got a heat lamp.
Yep.
You got a cardboard box?
It was actually made out of wood.
Okay.
And we put some wood chips down and a couple heat lamps, and that was it. Was
How'd
simple.
you learn to do that much?
Man, I think that was a Joel Salatin recommendation.
Okay,
Pasture Poultry Profits.
So you went off of Pasture Poultry Profits.
That was the Bible for us for the first year or so.
Have you talked to Joel Salatin?
Yeah, we've met him a few times. It's been pretty cool, yeah.
Okay.
Because every time I meet him, we're a little farther along in the process. Yeah. And now I don't know if we produce the same amount or maybe a little more than him.
Yeah, at some point you're going to be like, you're going to get more chickens, and that's going to just be surreal.
Well, he served up the pastured poultry deal on a silver platter for us, so we're just picking up where he's kind of leaving it. We started really trying to buy good food for our family. That's how this whole thing started. From that experience, we started learning more about grass-fed and free-range and cage-free and all these sort of idealistic meats, and doing the research, we learned that a lot of those things are full of it. They're BS. So we got really bummed out about the meat labeling industry, and while we were looking at this thing, we really just said, we can't find what we want in the grocery store, and that bothered us quite a bit. So,
Paul, how many problems did you have with those first? You said 50?
Yeah, it went fairly well, to be honest. We didn't have problems until a year in when we started getting massive predator losses. So,
really?
Like, probably 6 to 9 months in, we lost like 1,300 chickens and 35 lambs, and like we almost went out of business. It was super bad. It was horrible, actually. We started adding livestock guardian dogs about a year in, and that was the best decision we ever made. I mean, they've single-handedly saved the business.
Really?
Yeah.
How many have you lost since then?
0. We haven't lost a single animal to a predator since we added livestock guardian dogs like 4 years ago. We may have lost chickens to our livestock guardian dogs, but we haven't lost chickens to predators. So.
So there they are right now. There it is.
Yes.
Your savior.
This is one of them. Yeah. Well, that's one of the pups.
Is that a good one?
I couldn't tell you. There you go.
I guess
doing pretty good.
I guess so.
Good dog. These are all the females up here, so we run the females all together. We run all the males in the lower pasture. Otherwise, we have Puppy City. So, yeah, 13, 14 livestock guardian dogs on 140 acres right now. So,
do you have the original dog here?
Yeah, Duke down in the lower pasture. He's our original guy.
Okay.
And then his brother JJ's in the middle, and Grandma is Jane, the big long-haired Great Pyrenees.
She's original?
Yeah.
There she is. That's one of the originals, Paul.
This one, yeah, right here.
You got a special place in your heart for her?
This is Jane. Yeah, well, she's one of the ones that actually has a name, so she's got to be somewhat special. But yeah, she was our first female. She's grandma dog to a lot of these dogs out here, and she's a very important dog for us. I mean, she's one of the ones that saved the business.
Wow. Hi, Mary. It's okay. It's okay. She's just doing her job. Who's she upset at? The brown dog?
I don't think they're actually that mad. They just, I mean, that's just what they do instinctually. They just bark stuff away. So they don't really fight that much with the predators, but they will have a pretty intimidating bark and they keep them away.
Okay.
She doesn't like anybody coming up by her fence line. Good job,
Come on,
dog, good dog, good dog, good dog. Go get him, go get him.
Stop barking.
Go get him. And we don't do any training, but you see all these female, they're watching their grandma bark off these dogs, so they're gonna learn.
What do you feed them?
They do get a kibble, like a grain-free kibble, but we try to give them as much raw food as we can. So they'll even get, if we have chickens that die out in the pasture or whatever, just natural causes, they'll get those birds. They'll get animal organ meats, pork organ meats, they get beef organ meats, but the raw thing we love, we just don't have enough of it to feed them pure raw. In April of 2012, we ordered 50 chicks. And the way that story goes is we're sitting around joking as a family, haha, wouldn't it be funny to get some chickens and put them in the backyard. My brother Rob is sitting there in the little circle of guys that was talking. He walks away and he comes back like 10 minutes later and he goes, oh, hey, I just ordered 50 chicks. They're gonna be here in 2 weeks. And we're like, you did what? You know, we've never raised anything before. We'd never had an agriculture background, never really studied this stuff. And so we got the birds, put up a little brooder, we put the birds outside on pasture, we raised them without any vaccines or drugs or antibiotics, and we gave them certified organic, soy-free food. And I mean, we didn't know what we were doing at all. Probably most farmers would have said, you can't raise chickens outside, they're gonna die, they're gonna get sick, this and that, but we didn't know any better. So we just raised them the way we wanted to eat them and to feed our family.
So this right here was your Pastured Poultry Pen 2.0.
Exactly, this is 2.0. So we started with a normal wood skeleton pen with a pole rope on it and all that stuff. We broke our back on that for a couple years, and then we said, let's put wheels on this thing, let's make it out of metal, especially since we irrigate, they get wet all the time. This worked pretty well for us. You can see how they cave in though. Don't build it with a flat roof. You want to build it with a pitched roof because as the water comes in, it gets pretty heavy in there.
You like the metal versus
the metal is much better, yeah. It's more expensive to build it. I think we had almost $1,000 into each one of these, but to me, we can drive up, we could push them with a Kubota Gator instead of having to pull them, and it just saves your back. It's much better, so way better.
If this was $1,000, how long does it take to pay for itself?
Well, it depends what program you're running in it, but if you figure you're making $5 a bird and you can run 80 birds in each one, you're definitely paying for itself in less than a year.
Oh, sweet.
Well, you guys want to help me push this thing real quick? All right, let's do it. We gotta push really hard. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it or not.
So do you move these every day?
These all move every single day. We use a little Kubota Gator to push them forward.
Oh, okay.
365, man. Christmas morning, these things are moving. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh yeah.
Go, 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 go.
You guys got it.
These guys are small, so we don't need to move it all the way. And then all this feed that was spilled behind, we'll have the pigs come through and clean that up, so it doesn't go to waste either.
Is that what the pigs are for, or do you use them for something else?
Their cleanup program and bacon program. I mean, yeah, they'll come through and clean up all this feed.
Just for you guys, or for the you sell the bacon too?
Oh yeah, we sell the pork definitely once it's ready, but it's a chicken farm that we use other livestock for other reasons. Bugs, not drugs, so we believe that chickens should have a natural diet, grass, bugs, seeds, and worms. Moving them to fresh pasture, they don't need the drugs. So I've never used vaccines or antibiotics or drugs or feed additives or any of that stuff. You don't need to. Those first 50 chicks, back in 2012, there was a thing called Facebook that was really popular. So we put those first 50 chicks, we said, if anybody wants a few of these, here's a link, you can put a deposit down and reserve 1 or 2. And we thought, well, we'll offset the cost of raising these for our family. So 2 weeks go by, the birds are like this big now, and all 50 had been deposits collected, paid in full. Like, they were done. It was a done deal, which was so crazy to us because my family was all mad at me for selling all the chicken. They thought they were going to be eaten.
Now, Paul, look at them come running to you, buddy. Why are they coming running to you?
Well, they used to get fed before they got here. They don't get fed anymore, but...
Really?
Yeah, they don't really...
What do they eat?
They eat the grass. This is a kuni grazing pig. This is the best backyard pig, I think, in the world. They don't like the electric fence much either.
So this is the best backyard chicken?
I love this pig for backyard operation. They will graze 100% grass. They'll eat veggie. They don't root. They won't destroy your pastures and your fields. I think.
Feed them?
If you want. Oh, never mind. They are feeding them now.
You guys want to come in?
Oh yeah, I did have them feed them because they don't.
Yeah.
And they will knock you over. You try to get in a big circle. Give them some room to spread out.
By the time we harvested the birds, and harvesting was literally like an iPhone here with YouTube on how-to chicken processing from Joel Salatin and the bird like right here hanging in the tree. So that's how we first started out. But we harvested the birds. We had a waiting list of like 110 families that all wanted, you know, real local pasture-raised chicken. And the next month we did 100 birds, and then a few months later we did 200, and then we did 400, and then we did 1,000. And
this the original, Paul?
there he is. That's King Duke.
King Duke. How old are you, King?
4.
Oh, he's just 4. Yeah. You guys are just babies.
Young kings out here.
You guys are just 5 years old?
Man, yeah.
This is just 5
We
years?
got him as a little puppy.
Come on now, Paul. This is just 5 years?
5 years later, man.
No way. We're gonna go see what it looks like 5 years later. And this is just gonna be a glimpse, y'all.
Yeah, this is the smaller chicken farm, but this is 30 chicken tractors and one of the big range coops. And down in this field, we have about 3,500 birds any given time. And, oh, geez, buddy.
They're friendly.
And this is important for us down in the desert as we do irrigated pastures down here. So that will keep us on green grass year round. We do 52 weeks out of the year, we're producing birds. Which does help us because we don't have to lay people off and take time off. We can really just keep it going. It's good and bad, I guess.
9 to 5 operation here.
Yeah, for sure. It does help with wholesale, and our other company, Pasturebird, benefits from being able to do, you know, 12 months out of the year production. So here you go. This looks like it's just been moved recently. You can see the flies, which are annoying, but they help us break down the manure really, really fast. So they're gonna basically take it, help us break it down.
Yeah.
This just got moved to fresh pasture. You can see we have pressurized water into this coop, which is super nice. So we're not tending water, filling up water all the time. That's just pressurized right into the coop on a little reducer. And come take a look.
So you went from just a wooden pasture poultry pen, metal pasture poultry pens, to now this.
Yes.
How many are you gonna hold in there?
Well, this will hold 500 of the Freedom Rangers.
And now this. These chickens look like they're almost ready to graduate.
They're ready to go, yeah. They're in about 11th grade here, so. This is 500 birds. The first instinct people always say, oh, that's not very much room for 500 birds. But we gotta remember, it's a square foot and a half for every bird that's moved every single day for 77 days. So you really have over 100 square feet over the course of their life.
Yeah.
We want to concentrate that manure and know exactly where it went down and get them off of that manure every single day.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps us off the drug. That's why we say bugs, not drugs. And you watch them, you know, you see about 5% of them maybe eating the feed. 95% are just out foraging, grazing, fresh air, sunshine. This coop works really well for our environment out here.
And look, they're acting like chickens.
Yeah, what do you know?
They're fighting, they're walking around, they're scratching.
They don't need to be debeaked, they don't need to be detalonized, they don't need to be vaccinated or antibiotic, they don't need drug or additives in the feed. It's just really truly a natural chicken, a real program. And it comes true in the flavor and the health of the bird too. So we think the daily move is really important so that they're actually on green grass every single day. You know, if we left these guys for 2 or 3 days, this would be a mud bath in here and there'd be no grass left. All the good stuff about this would be gone. So to us, it's really important to be moving them all the time. This is a really good setup too for rains. So we get some heavy rains through here in the winter time, and this allows them to get out of the way. If it's really wet in here, they can get up and perch. We can throw some straw in. This system works really well for stuff like that too. We hook this up on misters too. We don't need them right now, it's not hot enough, but if it goes over 100, this is useful because it'll bring the core temp of the entire thing down about 20 degrees just from running some water in here on misters. That works real well too.
Is this made for this purpose, or did you custom?
It's just a normal greenhouse. It's a high tunnel or whatever they call it. But it's put on skids and it's kind of manufactured out with the roll-up sides. I'll show you the sides real quick too.
And somebody else did that, or you had to custom that?
We customized it a little bit, but mostly it comes like this as a kit.
Cool.
This is really nice too. So in the summer we never even drop this, but with small chicks in the winter, it's a real easy way to really close down the coop,
Just
get
like
it tight, and then it just hangs up just like that.
What is the importance of nice,
Really easy.
but maybe more expensive equipment, but it makes the process smoother?
We've always said, like, are you going to treat this as a hobby or is it going to be a business? If it's a business, buy the right equipment, do it the right way. That's kind of how we approach it. So it's better on the labor, it's better on us, it's definitely more efficient, it results in way less mortality, faster grow outs, just a better process overall. So we're always looking at ways to invest in better equipment within reason.
Come on, boys. There you go.
Get it back in, nice.
There you go, cut them off.
Oh, lost him. Get up. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, these guys are big. These guys are about 10 weeks old right now, so one more week and they'll be ready to go. Started adding in sheep and we started adding in hogs, and we found a partner farm to do some beef stuff with, and you know, now 5 years later we've got like 20,000 chickens out on pasture. We're doing hundreds of orders every week with home delivery, and it's just been like this, what the heck just happened? To take a step back and look at it now, we would have never thought that it would be here. If you told me I'd be farming 6 years ago coming out of the Marine Corps, I would have laughed. I would be like, there's no way. I don't know farming. I've never done farming. There's just no chance that would happen. So what started as a hobby became a business and really became a passion for regenerative agriculture. And now we're here today. Who knows where we'll be in 5 years, but it's been a pretty fun ride for sure. And so this is our non-petroleum based lawn mowing crew out here. We use these to just graze off the fields in front of the chickens. The chickens don't like the real tall grass, so we try to get it down, 6 to 8 inches before the birds come through. And then we do sell the pasture-raised lamb too. It's not a huge herd, but we do sell whatever is produced out here. Cool program, Dorper sheep, really heat tolerant. It's a meat breed, so we're not shearing they're not meant for wool or anything like that.
Nice.
And the lambs are just born right out here, no assistance, no barn, year round. We keep a male in with them. It's really, really simple, natural program.
Yeah. And has it beat out a petroleum mower at this point?
Yeah, don't have to sit on a tractor. I don't think we even own. We don't even own a tractor. So there's a baby in there. We should go check that out.
You want to go see the baby, Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go see the baby.
Solar powered electric fence charger works awesome. Southern California, where we got sun 350 days a year.
Yeah.
So this just runs to a ground rod, Premier 1 electric fencing, and that's what allows us to herd them up and move them around every day.
Nice. This must be your mascot.
That's Mabel. We got her for dairy, but we haven't really done any dairy production yet, so she's just the mascot, the trampler for now. They were born 2 days ago.
Nice.
One, and then the little brother's over here behind.
You just let them do their own thing.
We don't touch them. This lamb's
No
never
work.
been touched. So there's no vaccine, no antibiotic. It's just born here in the field. We come out for chores and say, oh cool, there's lambs on the ground, and that's it. I mean, that's all there is to it.
And when they're your mowers, all that's just bonus.
It's just cream on the top, exactly. So,
Having babies, harvesting lamb.
Yep. The Dorper's a good breed. They twin like 50% of the time, and so they definitely reproduce pretty quick. It's a really good meat lamb. It's not good for wool at all, but it's a good meat lamb, especially for warm climates. I was a full-time CPA, which is a pretty demanding job. It was 80, 90 hours a week, commuting both ways. Still had my wife and we had our baby, and so it was like really busy. And then my brother was a high school teacher too, so he had a full-time job, and that's what allowed us to start the farm. I mean, we had that off-farm income. We didn't have to take $1 of salary off the farm for like the first 3 years. That's what allowed us to keep reinvesting. Every dollar that we made off of selling those chickens, we put it back into the business, and we kept growing it and growing it and growing it. And it didn't have the burden to pay us a living wage for a long time. For us, And for me especially, my soul was just dying slowly in a cubicle. I had to do something else. I loved this regenerative livestock agriculture and grass farming, so there was no option. I had to give it a try.
Paul, this is where you are now, and this is your finished good.
This is what it looks like when it arrives at the customer, yeah. So we've started doing this home delivery system. We're just trying to make clean food really, you know, convenient for people, because we found that farmers markets and trying to do all this stuff is difficult for working families sometimes. So we're really working hard to put stuff on people's doorstep.
You know, I'm glad you're shipping. I know at first you hesitated to do that.
Yeah.
Because you want people to buy local, and that's great, but not everybody. I've been traveling, and there are many, many food deserts
all over the place.
Where they are not local.
All over the place. And just because you have a farmer's market doesn't mean it's real food that's there sometimes.
That's true.
That's what caused us to start doing it too.
That's true.
We want to bring food to the people. They can decide if they want to buy something local or not. We would love that. But if you don't have it locally, or if you want to buy from us where you know what's going on, that's why we exist. So
yeah,
let's take a look at this box.
Yeah, so this is what we ordered.
Yep.
Let's see what Rebecca got. So you can order anything from you then. You don't. It's not just like, oh, here's what you get this week.
No, it's not
like
a CSA
style.
No, it's a la carte ordering or a few packages and subscription.
Nice. So we got this honey, and we got some chicken thighs.
Yep.
Yeah, we love some chicken thighs on the road. That's so easy to make, so healthy. So all this is organic, everything. And you got bone broth, and you got whole birds.
Whole chicken.
Man, and you got this is pork sausage.
Beef sausage, I think, yeah.
Where are you getting your beef from?
Beef all comes out of Central California, a little family farm that we work with up there.
Cool.
Really awesome pasture program.
Cool. This looks great, man. And you got insulation here, so it can ship to what? 7 different states?
We ship to 7 states, but pretty soon we'll be going everything west of the Mississippi. So keep your eyes out. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good job, man. Good packaging. So if somebody wants to know more about you, or they want to order their own package, where do they go?
All of this stuff is primalpastures.com. So definitely go on there, check it out. We've got a la carte, we've got subscription packages, but everything in there is certified organic, soy-free, GMO-free, you know, pasture raised and pasture finished, ruminant animals. So it's all species appropriate stuff. It's the best it's the best that you can get. So it's the good stuff.
Say bugs, not drugs.
Bugs, not drugs.
Okay, you sound great.
Okay.
All right, tell your story.